On the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Let me tell you a little bit about one of our great sponsors, HomeGain.com. This is the place to get you started buying or selling a home, finding a realtor, and getting any real estate questions answered. Go to HomeGain.com and see what I'm talking about. All you need to do is type in your home address, and you will get an instant free estimate of your home's value online. This is a great way to be able to monitor the value of your home. And again, it's absolutely free. There are tons of tools to help you. For instance, if you want to remodel your home, go to HomeGain.com. Use their Home Sale Maximizer to help you determine which home improvements can most increase your home's value before you put it on the market. For 10 years, these folks have been helping home sellers and buyers. Visit their link at Infowars.com. Look for Max, the orange Home Gain Gorilla, to help you with any real estate needs you might have. You'll love this site. It's HomeGain.com. HomeGain.com. Check them out today. Hello, friends. This is Alex Jones. You've heard me talk about Cal-Ben 5-star soaps for years. This is an American-made product of the highest quality and compares to nothing you will find in stores. You can buy factory direct, shipped via UPS right to your door. Check them out on the web at 5starsoap.com or call 800-340-7091. Take my word for it. Once you've used Pure Soap, you won't buy anything else. Since 1947, Cal-Ben Soap Company has been showing consumers that soap can be tough on dirt and gentle on the environment. Buy American and stay clean, as well as support Infowars. Visit 5starsoap.com today or call 1-800-340-7091. Well, Marty, what do you have to say?
As founder and owner for over 63 years, satisfaction is guaranteed or double your dirt back. Call us at 1-800-340-7091 for a free catalog or visit our website, 5starsoap.com. Thank you.
This is Alex Jones with 5 good reasons you should consider buying a solar power generator. Number 1, new climate legislation could easily double or triple your electric bill. Number 2, our new energy czar wants to control how much power your electric company allows you to have. It's true. Total government control of electricity in the name of smart grid technology is coming. Number 3, in some areas of the country, the power grid is dangerously overloaded. And now new socialist legislation is only compounding the problem. Number 4, dangerous weather is always a threat to local grids. Every year, thousands of families lose their power from weather-related outages. Number 5, a solar power generator provides powerful backup insurance and peace of mind. Folks, I really believe in the solar power generators offered by Solutions from Science, one of my oldest sponsors. You can get more information at www.mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com. Remember, the government doesn't own the sun, so go to mysolarbackup.com or call 1-877-327-0365.
Federal agents, we are armed!
What would you do if you knew all the things we know? Would you stand up for truth? Or would you turn away too? And then what if you saw all of the things that's
We're talking with Bob Chapman of the internationalforecaster.com on the Alex Jones Show with me, Paul Joseph Watson, filling in for Alex today and tomorrow. Alex will be back later in the week. Now, Bob, picking up with this theme of manipulation, I don't know if you saw this story or not, but it's certainly one that interested me. We had this strange incident whereby the spot price for gold suddenly jumped, and this occurred on the Yahoo Finance website. The spot price for gold suddenly jumped from $1,235 an ounce to a price of over $3,400 an ounce, you know, literally in the space of seconds. I mean, people were raging with debate on the Kitco forums about whether this was a genuine, harmless chart error, or whether, you know, it was some kind of secret message being communicated to the insiders about potentially where the price of gold is heading. Number one, did you see this story? And just talk a little bit about the manipulation of gold, and if they use this kind of chart shenanigans to send these little inside messages to each other.
Well, I don't know about the messages to one another, but usually when you have something like that happen, it's usually some sort of a digital error. I I have noticed that over the years, some of the services have quoted prices that were away from the market, and you can understand that once in a while, because everybody makes mistakes. But there have been times when we have seen the quoting down of gold on a consistent basis. And so I've looked at that with a jaundiced eye. But the incident that you're talking to me about probably was just a error, and the debate would surround perhaps things happening that shouldn't be happening, and maybe it was a message. I tend to think that normally it was just a mistake.
Yeah, that's the way I saw it, because obviously the real spot price of gold was never at that level. It only occurred on this one website, unlike the flash crash with the Dow, which was obviously a real and sustained act of manipulation, as we were talking about earlier. We're going to go to the calls for Bob Chapman now. Please get your questions ready for Bob. And the first caller is Jimmy in Arizona. Jimmy, what's your question for Bob today?
Thanks, Paul. It's good to talk to you. Bob, I hear you in a lot of these shows. Actually, I had a comment and a question. I didn't know that, Bob, that you had predicted 9/11. That was news to me. I know Alex claims that, but I don't think either one of them are documentable, are they?
Oh, yes, mine is documentable, but I didn't call it 9/11. I just said that there would be an event that would happen sometime in the middle of October, and I was off by 33 days. I didn't name the event, and I made the call the previous November. And I also said that it would lead to the invasion of Iraq. And the reason why was that, as we discussed earlier in the program, they have events such as this that they create in order to have wars for distractions and other reasons besides that.
Okay, I see. One of the other things I was going to ask is I hear you a lot on a lot of the Patriot Talk radio shows making the rounds, and I hear you make references, using terms like Illuminati or Illuminous and the elite. But my question is, why does it seem like you have difficulty naming the Jew?
Naming the Jew? Which one?
Instead of using terms like bankers and some of these other generalized terms, international bankers, why don't we just come right out and say what it is?
Well, they are international bankers. They happen to belong to a group called the Illuminati. And there's a lot of other things that transpire besides banking within that genre, so to speak. And there are Jewish people who belong to it. But they're
just
not
like there are Christians and many other people who belong to what we call the international bankers. Okay, thanks for your call, Jimmy. We're going to go to Vincent in North Carolina. Vincent, what's your question for Bob today?
Yes, hi, Paul and Bob. You have to forgive me. I called out today from work because I'm actually under the weather. But, Bob, I had actually corresponded with you over email and had talked to you on the radio before about the LaRouche Political Action Committee. I'm sure you probably remember some of those conversations over email. But they have an interesting platform that they're trying to run on, and I thought it was very interesting. Alex posted a video of the gentleman who was holding up the sign saying "Impeach Obama," and of course he was held down on the ground for what reason I don't know. But actually, I've talked to some of the staff people. I don't work for them, but I've talked to some of their staff people, and I've given them donations. And what they're calling for is to get Obama to resign. And interestingly enough, they actually want to put in place a program, if this happens, that would start up a civil engineering project they call it, the acronym is NWAPA, which I don't know if I've got it correct, but it's the North American Water and Protection Act. I don't know if that's exact terminology, but basically what it would do would be to irrigate water coming in from southeast Alaska, northwestern United States, and irrigate places in California, even as far inland as the deserts in the U.S., and even send water going to the Great Lakes. So what they wanted to do to combat this whole environmentalist movement of making everybody have to use solar panels everywhere and to heck with your farmland was to irrigate those areas so that it would change the biosphere. Unlike LaRouche, however, I know I've said it before, I'm not this great believer that FDR was this perfect president. I believe a lot of the policies he put in place actually exacerbated the Depression. But he did do some good, I guess, civil engineering projects like TVA and so forth. What do you think of this idea? And also, the other thing he wanted to do was put in a Glass-Steagall Act and basically cancel off all the fraudulent debt from the derivatives. And I guess that's something I forgot to mention before. Can you comment on that and see what that, how that would help America, or if it would?
Glass-Steagall would be good because it allowed the dividing line between banking, insurance, and the stock brokerage business. The termination of Glass-Steagall allowed them to be reunited, and Glass-Steagall was implemented in the early 1930s to stop banking and Wall Street from doing what they were doing, which was using trusts as well as the merging which had taken place during the 1920s of banking and insurance, and in part led to the disaster which was Wall Street in the 1930s. And in 1999 that was done away with. And yes, Glass-Steagall, I agree, should definitely be brought back. And of course, Wall Street and banking, which control everything, along with the insurance and pharmaceutical and transnational corporations, they don't want that to happen. And they went in the opposite direction with the Financial Reform Act that you just saw passed, which makes the Federal Reserve a tyrannical force. But I believe I agree with Lyndon LaRouche on that. And I'm not against the water project and the jobs which it would bring about. And not only was Roosevelt create the TVA, and he also was responsible for thousands of projects throughout the country that we still use today, which included golf courses, which are close to my heart, and also the Boulder Dam. And so I'm not against that. If they're going to throw money away, they may as well use it in a constructive force. And that would also go along with fixing highways and bridges as well. But that's not what's going on. What's going on is money is being stuffed into the economy to save the bankers in Wall Street. And to some extent, FDR did that, and he shouldn't have done that. And as we talked about earlier in the program, the unemployment in 1939-40 was in the range between 17.4 and 16.2%. So he was only relatively successful, and they needed the war to bail themselves out. But Lyndon has some very good ideas, and I've been following him since 1964, when he was very socialistic at that time. And he has wandered, we'll call it, into the middle of the spectrum, which I think is wonderful.
Okay, Tony, thanks for your call. We've got to move on because we've got a ton of callers. And yeah, we actually posted the arrest of the LaRouche supporter, which occurred a couple of weekends ago, where he was holding this Impeach Obama sign. And he was quickly, of course, taken